Hello, here's the math video for Tuesday, May 26. We are on page 753. This is lesson 32, and this is on even and odd numbers. So on page 753 and 754, it's kind of like a little overview on even and odd numbers. So check that out so you can understand what that is. So I will start on page 755. So it says, there are 8 socks in a basket. How can the socks be broken into equal groups? So remember, equal groups have the same number in every group. We kind of worked on that last week. So pause the video and go ahead and draw some socks and figure out how you can put them into equal groups. All right, let's go ahead and think about that together. So I'm going to take my board here, and I'm not going to draw any socks, but I'm going to draw 8 items. So just like to do a little circle. And there's a couple ways that you can do this to have equal groups. So I wonder how many of you did groups like this, where you could have 2 socks in every group. Okay, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it would be to go like this. Anyone noticing an array here with those numbers or these circles? So there's my array. So you could have 4 in each group like we did last week, or you could have 2 in each group. So those would be the ways that you could organize those socks into even and odd numbers. Now, are these even or odd? These are even number of socks. You can know that because there is an exact same number for every group. So there's no extra socks. That's how you know that it's an even number. So let's go ahead and look on page 756. Number 1, can you make 2 equal groups with 8 objects? The answer is yes. Number 2, look ahead. You can think about equal groups to tell if a number is even or odd. So here's where it tells us what they actually mean, even and odd means. A, an even number of objects is can be put into pairs with no leftovers. So imagine your socks, okay? There's no extra socks. If you have 1 object left over after you make pairs, then it is an odd number of objects. So you can see some circles there. So go ahead and circle each pair so you can see that which one is even, which one is odd. So if they all match up, it's even. If there's extras, it's odd. So think of that. Number B says, you can also put an even number of objects into 2 equal groups with no leftovers. If you have 1 object left over after you have made 2 equal groups, there is an odd number of objects. Try to make 2 equal groups. Circle each object. So again, circling the object, only make 2 groups this time instead of making 3 groups. So check that out. Number 3, explain how you could tell if 7 is even or odd. What would you do to figure out if 7 is an even or odd number? Talk about that with your family, or you can write it down. All right, let's go ahead to page 757. So this is to write about what we know about the even and odd numbers. So the first box is in my own words. So let's go ahead and let me prepare my board here. So the first box is in my own words. So let's write here that you can make 2 equal groups. So 2 equal groups with no leftovers. So when you're matching them up, there's no leftover 7s. All right, so that can be the first box. Let's do an illustration in the next box. So draw some circles, maybe do a few that you would like. So here I've drawn 8, and let's put those into pairs. Imagine the socks. You need 1 for each foot. So there we go. Is that an even number or an odd number? 8 is even. Okay, so the next box says examples. Now, I'm going to tell you a little trick about evens and odds. If the number ends in 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0, it is even. If the number ends in 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, it is odd. So those are some examples. So a number like say an example of 37. See how it's ending in a 7? That's going to be odd. Number 36 ends in a 6. That's going to be even. So if you can count by twos, it's going to be even. So like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. All of those numbers are even. All the extra numbers you didn't say in the counting by twos are odd. So think about that for even and odd. It's super important information to know about even and odd. All right, so let's look at the next page, page 758. It says, Joy's mother gives her 12 shirts to fold. Can Joy put all the shirts into groups of 2 or 2 equal groups? So you can go ahead and draw some shirts. You can draw circles or rectangles, whatever you like, or you can draw little tiny shirts, and then see if you can put them into 2 equal groups. There's 2 ways to do that. So see if you can do them in groups of 2 or in 2 groups with lots inside them. So go ahead and do that last question for the day, and that's all for today. Talk to you later. Bye.